You know what I realize, Ryan? Every single time we start this show, except right now, I guess.
Except right now.
We always start off with me saying, so, you know the thing is, Ryan?
Or me. Last time I asked you about how you didn't take a piss before the show.
That's true. So here's what I'm going to say this time. Do you think that we've turned a corner, man? Do you think that we finally got to a point where, we've decided on a name, right? We've got a name for the show. We're not going to mention the show name yet, right?
Okay.
I mean,
you're asking me now? When do we tell people what we're called?
I would say save it until after the intro, only for one reason. It's because, we should just tell people the name of the show now. Let's just do it now. Do you want to be the one to do it, or do you want me to do it? Wait. We should do it together.
I feel like I don't want to do the sync thing.
But I'll do it.
Gross.
I'll do it because I thought of it, but then you liked it. But look, let me say this: the reason why I like this new name for the show that we have is because, well, basically, I thought of it, but Ryan is the one who loved it, and I hated it. Ryan had an idea for a show, The Young Harambees, which I loved. I loved that name.
Garbage. It's random words.
I loved The Young Harambees more than I love a lot of things in life. But in the end, we decided it wasn't meant to be. One day, I want to make a show called The Young Harambees. But for now, this show, in particular, will be called Ryan and Noosh Are Dead.
Let's go crazy!
Wait.
Oh my god.
No, you know what the thing is, though? I really thought...
It doesn't matter.
No, listen. I thought that I edited that song to have a fade out. I guess I didn't do that.
Doesn't matter what you thought, because it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Well, so, hey, guys, welcome to another episode of Like and Subscribe. I'm your host, John Like, and this is my co-host, Cornelius Subscribe. Say hi, Cornelius.
I fucking hate you sometimes.
No. Listen, I'm going to be doing that every single time. I really love the idea.
I like that you just told everyone what the new name of the show is, but you're just not going to call us that.
The name of the show is Ryan and Noosh Are Dead. However, I will constantly be coming up with a new name every single time.
It's good to have hobbies.
It is. No, actually, what matters the most is that I'm entertained. Because I genuinely don't care if anybody else is, clearly.
Yeah, clearly.
I'm the worst
Look how
entertainer.
uncomfortable everyone is.
I'm actually a believer that if you can make yourself laugh, that's the best thing.
Way to
listen.
Turn the mic on.
Hold on. Just give me 1 second. The thing is, I didn't turn on
He's
our
like, hold
guest
on. I don't want to hear anybody else except for myself right
I
now.
didn't turn it on yet. I just thought, okay, well, I'll turn it on in stages. Like flip the switch, activate this module. Okay, let's just get this going.
Where is this going?
I don't even know, man. Look, okay, so guys, let's make some announcements. So Ryan and I, are we doing the thing? We're gonna do the thing.
You're doing whatever you want to do. Apparently,
we gotta plan this more where you and I are in sync.
We didn't plan shit for this.
I know. Well, so here's basically what's going on with the show. Ryan and I had this amazing realization last week, and that amazing realization is
that we can't keep doing
this show is unsustainable in its current format. The whole strings and promises thing, strings can only hold so long, and promises can only be believed. Promises are not meant to be kept, I guess. But we just can't maintain this thing for as long as we are trying to. So some ideas we have for the future. We plan on...
Do we have to really get into what we're going to...
No, well...
If you're listening to it and you like it, keep listening to it. If you don't, then fuck you.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? No, but one thing I will say this. I'm not going to mention the name. I'm not going to mention anything detailed about it. But I want to say, in the future, Ryan and I will be launching a property that we've been dreaming of launching since we were wee lads at 20 years old. Nearly.
20?
We were 20.
19?
21. I was 21.
You were 21.
You were 20. I was 21.
Old
ass Noosh. I'm your father, actually. But something we dreamed of doing for forever, and we actually have the opportunity to do it now because this is gonna sound funny, but this project we had, it was we'll say there's some medium story elements in it, but we never had the ability to make it. We never had the medium to create it. And then one day in the parking lot, one day being last Tuesday,
one day 7 days ago,
we realized, actually, we do have a medium. We have radio. We have a radio show. All the things we dreamed of, we can do now. Why didn't we do them before? Maybe.
Don't get people's hopes up. We can barely do this.
Dude,
we can barely do this.
It's not even about getting other people's hopes up. I don't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe
it's
in
probably
anything.
not going to happen. Ryan and Noosh are dead.
And that's why it's perfect. The name is perfect.
Moral
Ryan and Noosh
story.
are dead. This show is on the decline. We may be having a show in the future. Maybe we're not. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things about this that's, up in the air. We'll see. But the future is bright. Maybe. Probably not for Ryan and Noosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moral of the story. Of
That's
everyone's
the moral.
story, really.
Yeah. So today on our show, we have our guests. So our first guest for today is Courtney, who is a returning guest. You all might remember her from our excellent episode on psychology, which is the #1 rated episode for this show.
Of all four.
Of all four episodes, that was our #1 rated.
Really? Was it?
It was.
You know why? It's because everyone was like, yeah, I feel weird pooping in public bathrooms too.
Let me tell you, there's girls in my classes, in my clubs I'm in on campus who've said that, this whole poop stalemate, the anxiety about pooping in public restrooms for women, that was something they've dealt with, and they're like, that's true.
I will say,
my
I
language.
may or may not have come up with that idea when I was in the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, I expect nothing less.
While in a poop stalemate, you're like...
In a poop stalemate, that idea... Because I was trying to think, what will I talk about? Because psychology is such a broad topic.
You were thinking about our show and what you were going to talk about while you were... Nice.
Listen, we're touching people,
you're in
man. We're
in privacy.
people.
We're touching people while they're taking a shit.
Also, let me say, it's really weird when women walk up to you and they talk about that thing you did, that show about the poop. I really, really liked that episode about the poop you did.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wait, people you knew or just random strangers were coming?
People I knew.
Okay.
I knew. Yeah.
If you got random strangers, that's
Listen, if
pretty
we're
good.
getting random strangers being like, oh, hey, your show, we've ascended to another level
that's true.
We're
not ready for.
Yeah, I'm going to be like,
I'm not
get away
ready for
from me.
that.
I don't
Baby steps.
Yeah, basically. So, Courtney, what's new? What's been going on since last time you were on?
Not much. It's nothing exciting, but I am just getting over being sick, so I don't know if I sound weird or not. I was thinking maybe I'll sound like Phoebe, my sticky shoes, but the sultry.
Phoebe from Friends?
Friends.
Okay.
There's
Is
one
there
episode
another
there?
Phoebe?
No,
really?
but was there an episode of Friends where it was
where she gets sick and she has the sultry, sexy voice?
That's what I was gonna say.
And then she's like, I was hoping to maybe sound like that. I think maybe I sound like Kermit the Frog. But...
You do not sound like sick Phoebe.
But anyway, nothing really exciting is going on. Just work and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know what I'm glad that we never have to do is be like, what's new with you, Ryan? What's new with you, Noosh? Nothing. There's nothing over. Just stop asking. I'm glad we don't have to
I don't
ask that of each other.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we ever talk about in terms of whatever, it's basically we're always like, hey, say it for the show. Say that shit for the show. We're always having these conversations before the show starts, and we're always reminding each other, hey,
all
stop
the conversations before the show are hilarious.
Yeah.
And then we get on air and we're like,
what do you want to talk about, Ryan? Oh, I don't know, man. What do you want to like and subscribe? We do stupid shit like that. I do stupid shit like that.
yeah.
Ryan just cuts the legs from under me. That's what he does.
Nervous
You did it
banter.
yourself this time.
Cutting the legs from under me?
Yeah, you just made fun of yourself.
Well, no, I don't mind making fun of myself. I just don't want to have you tell me
That it
jokes-
wasn't funny?
That it wasn't funny.
Noosh, that wasn't funny.
I hate you. I hate you. So, all right, well,
Yeah.
Thank you, Courtney. So our second guest for today is actually, in some ways, I think of her as the spiritual mother of this show. Because the reason I have this show is because I was on her show, and she kind of got me the hookup. So
Gave birth to you?
Gave birth to me. I'm like
to
our show. She's the mother of the show. I'm just the caretaker. I'm the nanny of this show.
It's my fault. You guys are being tortured weekly, guys, so I apologize.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
agree.
torture.
That's fair to say.
It's stress, but
No, she's talking about our listeners. Not
Yeah,
God,
not you.
Narcissism.
Oh.
It's not always about you,
The
Noosh,
world does
okay?
not revolve around you.
Guys, I'm the one.
She's apologizing to the people who have to listen to this garbage.
That's true. That's yeah.
It was a joke.
Well, welcome to the show, Cynthia.
Noosh is
So-
like, it's a little stressed out, but it's okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Wow.
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. So, I mean, Cynthia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm actually a CSUDH graduate. I graduated last May with PR and advertising communications. I'm a vegan. I'm a Mexican vegan. I own I have 2 pets, a dog named Robin and a cat
Who doesn't have a name?
I don't want to say his name because I didn't name him. It was my sister who named him.
Okay, well, what's the name, though?
Ferrari.
That's...
Ferrari.
F-U-R? F-U-R?
Yes,
like-
like fur.
Bless
Wow.
your sister. That's a great name.
Good
I love
name.
that name.
Not the one you met, not the baby one.
Oh, no, the
my
other-
my second.
Older?
Well, no, the middle child. The middle
How
child.
do you have a middle child of a cat if you only have 2 pets?
No. My
Sister.
sister.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. I was confused. I thought we were talking about Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's a baby and he's like scratched me all over.
Just sharing cat scratch stories. I have scars on me from my cat, but my cat's dead, so I'm actually glad.
Aw.
I'm actually glad.
Oh, you always have a
Oh, so you look at your
Yeah.
scars and you're like, oh, Smokey.
No, it's true. Like smoke. Hey, dude, remember my cat's name,
Of
dude?
course.
Yeah. I mean, I got scars.
He's a
on
big
me
part of
from
our
him.
life,
Yeah, man.
even though I never met him.
Yeah, I met him, but he's a. I've told stories about Smokey. Mostly Smokey being a little shit and just scratching the shit out of me and
And literally being a shit,
And-
shitting on your bed.
and shitting on my bed.
Oh
He would
God.
shit on my bed, so I wake up and I just find he was going through like some kind of like a cat Alzheimer's towards the end of his life, and listen, bless him.
Why am
bless
I
him.
laughing?
I don't know. Listen, all I know about my cat is this. Okay, there's one thing I'll tell you. My cat had a puppy. I got a puppy. My cat was like 2, and then I got a puppy, little cute ass dachshund beagle, adorable. You have to imagine puppies are curious, like, hey, what's up? What's this? You know, wagging their tail. My dog walked to my cat, sniffed him. My cat beat the shit out of him so fast, so hard, just slapped him in the face. And ever since then, even though my dog got way bigger than my cat, my dog is very careful, very,
Excuse me,
cautious. Yeah. But they protected each other. They were always like one time this bigger dog came after my dog. My cat got pissed. He was just freaking out. He was ready to throw down,
my bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, but I can't talk about a cat without doing a quick shout out
Jesus, oh my
to
God.
Ryan's cat Boo, who is the greatest.
I also didn't name Boo, by the way.
But it's an amazing name. I don't know. If you,
think Dragon Ball Z when I hear Boo.
Oh, it's Boo as in Boo.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
then I think
yeah,
of Boo.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, see, I
Majin.
think of Boo from Monsters Inc.
I think of Majin Boo.
There's a lot of
I
good
I
Boo
was thinking of the
references.
Super Mario.
Super Mario Boo. Yeah, man. The I was actually hoping that the other cat, Lolo, would be named Koopa. That would have been good.
My parents wouldn't.
I know.
Yeah.
But the thing about Boo that you should know, everybody should know this, is he is a beautiful, gorgeous Russian blue cat. He is kind of chubby, and it just makes him look so regal and majestic. He
He
is.
sounds adorable.
He is, and he's a wonderful cat. He actually has a very strange asphyxiation. Maybe not that strange with Ryan's
It's
dad.
not as strange as your, asphyxiation with him.
That's true. My love for your cat is way more
It's way
weird
weirder
than your
his
cat's
love
love
for
for
my dad, yeah.
his cat. Whenever his dad goes out of town, his cat will wait by the door, crying like, "John, where's John? Son of John, where's John?"
Yeah, it's true.
I've never had a cat before.
This is
the first time I have.
Ferrari's the
yeah.
first one.
We heard something crying outside of our house, and I thought it was like a rat or something. I was like, oh shit,
crying
that's like
rat?
a half-dead rat outside of my house. So, of course, curiosity struck, and my little sister and I went to poke around, and Ferrari was there, baby kitten, abandoned by its mother.
Happened with my grandma once. She thought she was hearing little sounds from the ceiling, and she thought she was going insane, like she was hearing voices or something.
What?
But a cat had gotten into the attic space of the roof and had a litter of litter of kittens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Litter of kittens. And
Aw.
and then at some point the cat then after a couple of days the cat then dropped the kittens into the tree, and so they were able to rescue the kittens.
Oh.
So.
Cats
But,
are,
yeah.
Cats are kind of shitty to their kids.
Yeah, but it was driving my grandma nuts.
Yeah.
She's like, where are these voices and these meowing, and
She's like,
She's like, oh, it's happening.
You know,
Old age.
in terms of animals in the attic stories, I just, you mentioned animals in the attic. I always remember this, that when I was living in Sri Lanka for a while, that I always thought it was really weird that there was like, scratching sounds coming from the attic, I don't know what it was up there. And, you have to remember, Sri Lanka is like, it's like a jungle, basically. The nature's winning in Sri Lanka. It doesn't matter if you're in a city, a town. Nature's always winning. It's creeping in. So I remember at one point wondering, like, man, what is up there? It sounds big, and it's, like, kind of clawing. And eventually one day it got out, and it, like, ran out of the house. And it turns out it was a giant-ass mongoose. Jeez. It was... and for anybody who doesn't know, like, how big a mongoose is, like, in person, it is huge. Like, mongoose are, like, really big animals. Yeah. Bigger than that. Like this.
Well, they're long.
Yeah, they're long. That's what it is. Yeah. Anyway, yes. Well, today's
this
episode
week,
is
talking
not
about animals.
Yeah. Actually, I would love it if this was like the segue into, okay, guys, today's episode is about pets because we want to do a pets episode one day. Samantha, I hope you join us for that. I'm trying to get guests for that. It's hard. But today's episode, though, is on delusion. So our episode's all about delusion, mass hallucinations, that sort of thing. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is kind of about animals. I guess I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's talk.
I'm actually looking forward to this. Let's do it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing I want to ask all of you guys is, do you all read the Berenstain Bears when you were kids?
yes.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you pronounce that name? Berenstein, like how I just did it?
Berenstain.
Or Berenstain with an A?
Berenstain.
Berenstain?
I'm going to say that I actually pronounced it as Berenstain, but here's the thing. I never spelled it that way. For me, it was always the Stein, like the
E-I-N.
All right, so there is everyone that I know, except for you, I guess.
Well, no, but I'm still in the boat of like the E-I-N.
All right, well,
E-I-N, yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's most people, but a lot of people spell it Berenstein, E-I-N, and also like pronounce it Berenstein Bears. Sorry. And it turns out that is not how it's spelled or how it's pronounced. It's Berenstain. And it's made people question reality in a lot of ways. So here's how it starts, okay? And here's the thing. It goes beyond just like a false memory. Like, I always thought it was spelled this other way. Because Berenstain sounds fucking weird to me.
Yeah,
Like, I don't like it. Makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So this all started on a website called dreadlocktruth.com where I'm assuming they talk about dreadlocks and truth and the truth about dreadlocks. I don't really know what...
The truth is in the dreadlocks.
The two go hand in hand.
They do, usually. So some guy on there on their forum just was like, hey, I found some like Berenstain Bears books at my house, but it's spelled with an A. That's weird, right? And everyone's like, what the heck? That is weird. I don't remember it being called that or spelled that way or whatever. And it just sort of was like a weird thing, and I let it go. Then it ends up on Communist Dance Party, the website.
I wasn't aware that even existed.
That is it's a website. Same thing, people were like, did you guys see this thing on dreadlocktruth.com? It's weird. And then it ends up on like a science blog.
Dude, by the way, can I just say, I feel like there's this amazing multicultural harmony among these internet websites. You got Dreadlock Truth, you got the Communist, you got Science website.
Now.
They're like,
and everyone's like, what the fuck is Berenstain Bears? That's weird. And then eventually ends up on Reddit, like all things do.
The Denny's of the internet.
Yeah, the show of the internet. Not really. We're terrible. Reddit has their shit together. Anyway, all these people are like freaking out, like, what is this? This is so weird. I don't remember it being spelled that way, pronounced that way. And rather than just assume everybody's wrong, because that seems unlikely.
Because it's printed right in front of you.
Yeah. Although, actually, there are pictures that I saw of like this girl on Reddit who posted like, hey, I found an old VHS tape, and it's spelled Berenstain on the front, but on like the spine of it, it's Berenstein. It's actually spelled Berenstein. Yeah. So anyway, theories started popping up about why this is. So at first everyone was like, why would they change the name of the show or the book series or whatever? Like, why would they change the name? Like, that's weird. Was it like a weird, like, Berenstein sounds too Jewish thing? Like, they thought they went and changed it now.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. They were always called the Berenstain Bears. always
Yeah.
called the Berenstain Bears. So people started getting more
Paranoid?
Riled up.
not
Angry?
paranoid, a little out there, I guess, about why this was happening. They started saying like, "Oh, somebody went back in time."
Yeah. That is
And
the most logical.
butterfly. It is
Yeah.
the most logical.
Glitch in the
second,
Matrix.
Second most logical. Yeah. There's also people saying like we somehow moved into a parallel universe.
Yeah.
Where most things are the same except
The one
the
thing that's
Berenstain
different.
Bears are not-
The Bears have a different
so
last name.
the thing is, the people who used to call it Berenstain Bears were originally in this universe, but we got transferred over to this one for some reason. And now there's people who are like, "What are you talking about?"
It's
always
kind of like
been
that
Berenstain
movie
Bears.
with James Franco going back in time to kill Nixon, or not Nixon, JFK. Like
That's a show.
somebody, whatever show. He goes back in
It's a
time,
Hulu original
kills
that I never
kills-
watched.
You should watch it.
And
It's
you
good.
watched it.
I watched
and you don't
it.
even, and you're like, it's a movie.
11/22/63, I think it's called. Anyway, he
Wow.
goes back in time, kills JFK, comes back. Only thing that's different is the Bears.
That's what happened. James Franco, thanks. So there's other examples of this happening also. Oh, and another theory is glitch in the Matrix, that this universe is a simulation. And that's actually that's a pretty like
I mean, that's a
well
scientific
accepted thing
yeah.
for a lot of people.
I want to throw something out there though, because I think that there's a misunderstanding in the beginning about why I pronounced it weirdly. Because in my mind, I am 100% Berenstain, as in EIN. But here's the thing: the reason I pronounced it Berenstain,
Earth 2 Noosh.
I didn't call it Berenstain for sure. I never called it Berenstain. I called it Berenstain, the Berenstain Bears. And you know why I said it like that though? It's because I have like not like some kind of weird stutter or weird way of pronouncing things. But since I was young, I've always pronounced things weird. And the example I'll give you is this, and you can attest this because I think
Also, you say everyone's name wrong, so
yeah. But I think you've heard me do this before, but I've totally stopped now. But before I started pronouncing it pizza, the correct way to pronounce pizza, until I was like 20 years old, I called it pizza.
Oh, Jesus.
You know,
which is
it's
funny because he sounds so white.
Yeah,
And it's
I
not-
called it pizza. And it's the same thing with the Bears. I called it Berenstain, like Tin, Berenstain Bears. Not Stain, not Steen, Berenstain. But I always thought of it as EIN, Steen,
Yeah,
like
right.
the right way. They were Jewish to me. They were the Jewish family. Nice Jewish family living in a tree.
Yeah. So, glitch in the Matrix is
Yeah.
also a theory. But there's others.
Well, before we even go on, I'll say this, though. That is, listen,
Elon
the
Musk
first-
believes that.
I mean,
The guy who made
he's
Tesla.
legit. And SpaceX, right? Is that,
And SpaceX.
Yeah. I want to say this, because the first time I heard about this was like a few months
The
ago in the
glitch in the
summer.
Matrix thing? Or the...
Well, the Berenstain Bears thing.
Oh, okay.
That was the first time I heard it was like in the summer. Right?
By the way, Tim, thanks for the topic.
yeah,
I totally
yeah,
stole
thanks,
this from
Tim.
you.
I know. You know, Tim dropped out of the show, so
He's dropped out of life.
Dude,
he's
he's
just stuck in
our
World of
other
Warcraft.
host, Tim. When we first developed the concept of the show, one of the first ideas was, all right, let's do an episode on Delusion, and you know, one of the episode's ideas, our other co-host Tim, he wanted to do the Berenstain Bears idea, ex-co-host, but he quit like on the first episode.
As soon as he walked in here, when he walked in here, he was like,
he's
"Yeah, I'm not going
out."
to keep doing this."
Yeah.
God
And
bless
right
him.
now,
God bless
we
him.
haven't seen him in a long. We saw him like 2 weeks ago, but like really, we haven't really seen him in like 2 months, and that's because
The only reason he even showed up is
Yeah.
because JB went into World of Warcraft and told
Yeah.
him, like, "Hey, are you coming to this party?"
he's been in World
and
of
he's
Warcraft.
like, "Well, now I can't say that
deep.
I didn't hear about it."
He is in like the deep trenches. The point in World of Warcraft where communication from the outside world doesn't reach you anymore. You're like in the jungle. Like you're like fighting monsters in the jungle. Nobody like you know the like 1920s jungle explorers or whatever where it takes like 6 months for like a letter to get to you. It's like that basically. And so the only reason why he came to this party 2 weeks ago was because our other friend JB he went
into
in
the
the
jungle
jungle
to tell him.
and he's like, I'm looking for whatever Tim's name is, Ogeron of Azeroth or whatever the hell his name is. I'm looking for Ogeron of Azeroth, whatever. But anyway, that was his idea, the Berenstain Bears thing. The first time I heard of it, though, I was mind blown, and I genuinely did believe. I didn't really fall for the whole time travel thing. I was like, maybe that's a little
Time
but dude,
travel's stupid.
The glitch, the Matrix thing, though, it kind of was like, dude, this
For
is
a second, you were like, "Wait a minute."
dude, like it legit made me think like that's crazy because I looked at the spelling, I looked at the books, and it didn't make any sense to me why it was spelled that way.
It's
Yeah.
weird because when you look at the pictures and like you see the books and it's spelled Berenstain, you're like, "What the fuck?" Like you feel weird. You're like,
Yeah.
"That's not how it used to look."
It really
You feel
feels like you are in another universe. Like you slipped through the cracks in the universe and you're in another place. Like it felt weird. It felt weird the first time I
I
heard
have
it.
to look
anyway.
at it.
Look at it and you
Yeah.
might feel it.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Because right now I can't feel anything.
Yeah.
I'm just like, eh. But I gotta look
So,
at it.
well, here's some other examples of this happening, the same
Yeah.
thing, and maybe these will make you feel weirder. Okay, so When you remember Darth Vader telling Luke that he's his father, what's the line that you remember?
Luke, I am your father.
Is that what you remember?
Yeah, but
that's what everyone remembers. That's not what it. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
It's no, I'm your father. No, I'm your father. What the hell kind of? That's a terrible line. Or Forrest Gump. This one was weird because I've watched Forrest Gump like not even that long ago.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Okay,
all time.
The mama chocolate thing.
Yeah.
Like mama always says.
Life
is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
That's not how he says it. It's like mama always said life was, or I don't know. It's like two of the words sound, or they're like off. I didn't actually write that one down. But Fruit Loops.
Yeah, okay, I'm ready for this. I feel like this is gonna blow me away.
Fruit Loops. How you spell Fruit Loops? Like the word fruit, the word loops.
Yeah.
That's not how it's ever been spelled.
How do you spell it?
Fruit is OOT.
No.
FROOT.
The only reason
Show me
I
a
know
picture of
this
the box.
is because I
That's
work at a
exactly-
grocery store.
Ah.
This is the only reason why I know
Listen,
this.
no, it's never been called Fruit Loops. That's a lie.
Next, you're gonna say the
with two
toucan
O's.
is not named Sam.
I don't like it. It makes me feel weird. When I
Yeah.
saw that, I looked at pictures and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go look at the
How
grocery
come when
store
I was a
and
kid,
look.
I was like, fruit? What a funny... Like, I remember thinking fruit's a funny spelling. Like, that's a funny way to spell
Yeah.
the word fruit. But it was spelled correctly.
I mean, a
in
lot of
my
these things
memories.
so far, I know you have more examples, but so far, like a lot
I
of
have
these
one
things, I think it's a good one. I think I know what it's going to be, too. But
That's what this whole thing's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think a lot of these examples are just examples of the fact that nobody reads every letter of a word. We just read the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
So if
True.
we recognize Bernstein as a common ending, we just assume there must be an E somewhere in there instead of an A. Fruit Loops, Fruit, makes sense. We don't even think about the double O. It's just...
Well...
We're blind to it.
Here's the weirdest one.
I know, that's... Yeah.
So, I don't know how much you guys know about Nelson Mandela. I mean, this was kind of before our time.
It's the
I guess,
70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there is a huge number of people who distinctly remember him dying in prison, which he never did.
Yeah,
apparently.
alive and well.
But it goes beyond that. It's not even that he died in prison. They remember his funeral. They remember a speech his wife gave at the funeral. Like, there's a lot of people who have, like, really vivid memories of this thing that never happened, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a trip.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is such a fucking
I mean,
trip.
honestly, I genuinely, like, I also, when I heard the Nelson Mandela thing, I'm
And
not
that's
as familiar
By
with
the way, this whole thing, all this phenomenon is called the Mandela effect,
Oh, it has a name, okay.
based on that phenomenon.
Mm.
Specifically that case, the Nelson Mandela thing.
Well, what's the explanation for it? Like, why did people have these?
That
vivid...
we're living in a simulation, or
That's
that
it?
it's a parallel universe. Though that's truth.
I mean,
I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
honestly, though, when I hear about stuff like that, like, it does
It feels
totally
it's
makes
weird,
you
right?
feel...
Because here's the thing:
Yeah.
I get Berenstain Bears fine. Like, there's a psychologist who was like, his like they interviewed the article I was reading. The guy who's writing about this like interviewed a psychologist, and he's like, "Why do you think people are, including myself, why would we think this is how it's spelled?" And he literally was just like, "That's a common spelling. Probably you thought that's how it was spelled." I mean, it's just what you were saying.
Yeah.
So I get that. I get misreading or misremembering movie lines, but remembering a funeral and a speech
Yeah.
for something that never happened, like that's
What is his?
Weird.
Does his wife say that she remembers giving this speech, or is just people saying
No.
that they remember?
she's like
her
that never
saying-
happened. But it's not just like a couple people. There's like thousands of people who are like, no,
I'm wondering
he died in prison, and
Okay.
this was where his funeral was, and you gave this speech.
If we were to
I
look
remember
at
you
it-
saying this thing.
if we were to look at it logically, it could just be because that was when Mandela
Word
was
of
going
mouth.
word of mouth, but it was under the
Pre-internet.
apartheid government.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it might
yeah.
be a really good propaganda.
And listen, if any government is capable of doing that or willing to do that, it's... I mean, like, if they said...
So really,
like,
you're saying he did die in prison, but they're like, no, he
Yeah.
didn't. No, he didn't. What are you talking about? No, he didn't. Guys, you're all crazy. No, he
Wait,
didn't.
no. I know. I'm saying, what if the apartheid government created the story that he did die in
Yeah.
prison
Oh.
to, like,
To-
kill
To-
the movement?
To kill the movement.
Yeah,
Exactly, to kill a movement, and it was
Yeah.
very successful because tons of people remember it.
Well, way to crush my Matrix dreams, guys.
Listen, I still believe we're in the Matrix.
No,
I
I believe in
100%.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really like to think about that stuff because it trips me out.
Yeah.
Scares you.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm like walking and I'm like, where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
Who am I? What am I doing? And I kind of have to like bring myself back down to reality.
Disassociation.
And I'm just like, okay, this is what you would do. This is where you go, and it trips me the fuck out, and I hate it.
Well, I
But-
mean, Elon Musk is convinced and a lot of people are convinced that we're
in a simulation,
that we're not in base reality.
Well, you should probably mention that because there's actually a logical scientific reason.
So here's what they're saying.
Well, let me set it up.
Oh my god, you're like, no. You should probably explain
you should
this.
Explain it. Let me say one
go
thing.
For it.
No, just so you understand, like basically, this is like a scientific community who believe that we live in a simulation, and there is actual like logical evidence for that. And Ryan's gonna explain the logical evidence. Go ahead.
Well, their reasoning behind it is just that. How do I explain this? Okay. Right now we have VR. We have virtual reality. That's a real thing that we have. You can put on a helmet and you can like kind of exist in another world for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we still feel and know that we're here. But if you look at virtual reality and like the amount of time it took to get to that from Pong, which is just two sticks in a, if technology continues to go at that same rate, eventually we're going to be able to make like real virtual realities that are so real that you won't be able to tell the difference. And their whole theory is just we are not like, there's no way we're the first people to ever exist. So someone's probably already done this, and they've probably we're probably in it. Like they're just saying it's more likely that that's the case than being in base.
Essentially, it is an act of arrogance, sort of, to believe we are prime.
And also,
prime
they're
level.
like, it explains other things, like how we've never interacted with alien intelligence or seen any evidence of alien intelligence.
It explains quantum mechanics in the sense
that things are very different when you go to a quantum level.
I mean, when you have you ever imagined, think about this scenario, when you zoom in on a pixel, like on an image, and you just pixelates, it gets weirder and weirder to the point of it's not even an image anymore, it's not even a thing, it's like this blip. That's kind of what happens in quantum mechanics. The more you zoom in on something, like the nature of it changes at that level. So it's kind of like
gravity works different. Everything's different when you go onto that.
So it's kind of like,
so they're saying the reason that stuff like that shouldn't happen does happen is they're just saying, well, it's probably likely that we're
another thing I heard is that basically what's it called? Like
this episode got real.
It got weirdly scientific. No, it's this idea that basically because of the fact that nobody looks at like when it comes to computers, right? Mm-hmm. When you like condense an image down, your computer takes like basic. You know what? I'm not going to even go into this. This is way more technical than even I know how to explain.
Where's Tim?
Basically, the idea though is like, computer basically like creates like an idea of an image, right? It says, okay, well, this area is blue, so the rest of this is blue. It doesn't know every single pixel here is blue if you're like compressing something down or something. And like I think the idea was like basically if when you look at, I'm not going to go in here. I can't do this.
Anyway, the moral of the story is
I can't do it.
We're not living in reality. We're living in
I'm going to prep for that episode where we talk about, there's episodes I want to talk about quantum mechanics, and I will prep for that. But not right now.
Also, if anyone gets freaked out by this idea, like, I don't want to be living in a simulation, wouldn't you rather be living in a simulation in some ways, though? Because that means,
it's not real.
Someone built it. Like you're okay. You're okay.
No, think about it from
and
this
also,
perspective.
when it's over, you just
take
the helmet off or whatever.
Just remember this, guys.
Get downloaded into another one or something.
Would you rather be living in the Matrix or that shitty underground weird techno rave that was the real world?
Hey, that shit was popping.
That was weird.
Listen, the techno rave. All right, but everything to get to that techno rave was trash.
The goo they ate.
Yeah.
That was gross.
No, hell yeah. Being in the Matrix is...
Matrix. That one guy in the first movie, he had the right idea. He's
did
like,
have the
I'll
right
sell
idea.
my friends, stay in the Matrix.
Yeah.
But,
so, Berenstein Bears.
I know, it's... changes your life, man. It changes the way you look at things.
It's like that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yes,
Total Recall?
exactly. Total
Recall,
that's
it's
like that episode of Rick and Morty where they put on the Bob arcade game.
Yes.
Right?
Bob's off the grid. He doesn't have a social security number.
Go watch Rick and Morty. Show. Rick and Morty is an amazing show.
You know what's funny is when you told me about that show and you were so hyped about it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, God, Noosh, here's another thing that he's all excited about, and it's probably just...
Yeah.
It's all right. I mean, although every recommendation you've ever given me is good, but sometimes you get so excited about them that I'm like, all right. I'll watch it when I watch it. Then I watched the first episode and I was like, I gotta watch all of this right fucking now. And I did. It
was amazing. All right, so Courtney, what do you
I will be talking about Coro syndrome.
Coro syndrome?
Coro syndrome.
Okay.
So it's...
So listen, because I read about this and I was gonna talk about that before, I know what this is about, and it's so
when I first read it,
that this is a real thing.
When I started looking up stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, wait, what is this? So I found a couple things, and
I'm looking forward to because I know nothing about
Me
this.
either. I have no idea.
Okay,
I'm
so
excited.
Koro syndrome is usually found in China, Japan, or India. Okay. In the West, it's known as, it's actually part of the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. It's what psychologists use to diagnose
Basically,
people.
that means it's a real, legitimate...
It's a real thing, yeah. So it's all, in the West, it's known as genital retraction syndrome.
You know what? That's shitty that in China
It is
and
shitty.
India...
It is shitty that it mostly happens in Southeast Asia.
Exactly.
It's a Southeast Asian dick problem.
So
that's
it mainly
something.
affects guys, but
Yeah, of course it does.
women have been known to suffer from it, but
Really?
it's mainly the nipples retracting into the breasts and disappearing, or they think that it is. So that's how it affects women.
So it's
But
retraction as in it's going
going
in your body.
into your
It's
body.
disappearing.
Yeah.
Wow.
The one thing that sets it apart, from what I read, only the Chinese actually believe that if it goes fully into your body, it's a sign of imminent death. So
That's a good
Japan,
sign.
Basically,
I mean,
they're
it's-
saying if my dick goes all
Yeah.
the way inside of
Yeah.
me, I'm
Dude,
dead.
that's turtle head syndrome. It's like danger.
So Koro, what I saw from this, it comes from Malay, which refers to a turtle's head as it retreats into the
Okay,
shell.
well there you go.
So it makes sense what it is. From what I was looking up, it said that usually people who suffer from it only lasts like maybe a couple hours to maybe a couple days, but there has been a case of one sufferer who he was 41 before he sought treatment for it, and he spent 15 years dealing with it. And what he would do is he tie a string around his penis to a hook above his vagina in order to keep it from shrinking.
Oh God! Imagine.
He's like,
tossing
stay
it
out
down.
here, just...
Exactly, just tying it and then hooking
Dude, I mean,
it up.
like, imagine the routine of that. I mean, listen, living in Sri Lanka, there's a routine where basically before you go to bed, you put up the the mosquito net. You know, you put the mosquito net under your mattress. That way, it's you're safe
Because
in there.
nature's winning.
Yeah, nature's winning. But imagine, put up your mosquito net, blah blah.
Time to
grab your
cut
dick
a
hook, grab your dick hook, put it on the ceiling.
Good
Yeah.
night.
So, okay, so from what I was reading, it looks like it started with the Chinese and then it kind of spread into the other cultures, mainly Japan and India, and other places. But so for the Chinese, it was first described in a book of in the Qing dynasty. Is that when you have a
Oh,
Q?
the Q, Q-I-N-G.
Yeah.
They're the Manchurians. I'm learning about this in
There
class,
you go.
actually.
So it described the condition as yin type of cold qi invasion, which involved a sudden seizure during sexual intercourse with the penis retracting into the abdomen. And so that
like I'm so offended by this
Yeah.
sex that I want to stay away.
So there's that, and then the way that they, another thing that they believed, let's see, in Taoism, was that if there was frequent ejaculation, that's detrimental to your health, and,
Yeah, I can-
that could be why it's
Stop
doing
getting
it.
it.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
What do you mean you can
That's-
attest to that?
well, no, I mean I'm saying it's bad for you if you too much.
What?
What?
If you come too much?
Well, no, 'cause-
It's bad for you if
Okay,
you
you know
jerk...
what?
Hold on.
Hold
It's
on.
bad for you if you get
okay.
off too much?
I've mentioned this to Ryan before. Basically, if you jerk off too much and there's nothing in there, then you're just dry jerking off, and it hurts. It hurts.
It may hurt, but it's not bad for you.
Noosh, you're not... Listen. We'll have a conversation another time about how the body works. I'm just kidding. Listen, I don't think you... It's not bad for you. You're basically doing that like, oh, well, if you jerk off too much, you go blind thing. Like that's,
No, I'm not
that's
saying
not
that.
a thing.
I'm not saying
it's
go
not
blind.
a thing.
I'm saying literally, if there's like pain, you shouldn't do it.
Wait, so you've done it
Dude,
to that
wait,
point,
Noosh, how many...
You
Hold
were
on.
gonna
Hold
testify
on.
to this
How many
firsthand.
times have you jerked off in one day to
No,
get
in one
to that?
no.
Okay.
In one day, it's like twice.
Okay.
If-
Okay. Well,
yeah.
how could listen? If I
This is a weird
listen,
conversation
I have ejaculated every day since I was 12.
Okay,
Okay.
well, you know,
Every-
Wow.
And most of that's it's okay. Most of that's been me.
yeah, sure.
Louis C.K.
Sure, man.
made that joke,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
the way. But there. How is okay?
Now I
don't
want you.
So now I'm
Ryan,
saying,
Ryan,
how do you
I want
get to
you
a level
to
of
imagine, Ryan? I want you to imagine
twice
what
a day
you just
every day?
said
Fine.
twice, double.
Fine.
Imagine
Done.
that.
You know what?
Imagine
I
the
will go
horror
home
of
and I will test this. I'll get off twice
Put
every
this
day.
theory to test.
Yeah.
Listen, okay, you know what? Then
Update us.
maybe you're Irish, Prince,
Irish.
Aren't you Irish or something? You got some Irish.
No.
Is there an Irish whore in your family somewhere? Somewhere in your ancestry? I remember there was an
She
Irish.
wasn't Irish, but there's a whore.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Somewhere in your bloodline,
well, now I
you've
have
got...
to say it. I have a great something great
Yeah.
times whatever guy who was a Duke of like Wales.
Right. He was that's why me and Ryan are friends. We got some nobility in both our families. We come from princely
Right.
families.
So he was the Duke of Wales,
Yeah.
and he fell in love with a prostitute, and they ran away together, and that's where I
Beautiful.
came from.
Beautiful. His
That
family.
is so romantic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, right?
That
It
is
is.
so fucking romantic.
Beautiful, dude. Me, on the other hand, I don't know what happened to my family, but some Portuguese got in there. That's all I know, and I hate that. It's weird.
You hate that?
Oh no, I thought I was like, the noble, pure
You
Sri
thought you were-
Lankan
Jesus,
line of,
You're getting a little
I thought
racist.
No, I'm just thinking.
I thought my
was,
blood was pure.
I thought I was from like
All right,
a
Nazi.
regal,
Brown Nazi.
noble house. You know?
What, Portuguese can't be regal
No,
or noble?
they were sailors. That's why, man. They weren't like the kings of Portugal.
It's
Be
just
part of like the Pirate King or something.
Yeah, I was a pirate family. No, they're traitors. Listen, don't talk about my ancestors like that.
Anyway,
they're traitors.
back on topic. Noosh jerks off twice a day,
Yeah,
every
twice a
day,
day.
and it hurts.
I mean, I guess I could see it, how.
Listen, do you use
know.
lotion? Are you just dry
Why are we
rubbing?
even talking
Because that
about
could hurt,
this?
I guess. But just
No, man.
Well, not having much like
You gotta lube it up.
sperm, right? Is what
that's
you're
what
talking
I'm
about.
saying. You have nothing in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of uncomfortable. It's
See a
painful a little bit.
doctor.
Oh my god.
You do need to reload. I
Well,
don't know.
the
I think
joke I was
I
making
don't know, yeah.
Listen,
the
do you know
joke
how
I
much?
was
Do you know how much sperm is produced every hour in a man?
No, I don't
It's
know.
a lot, like tens of thousands of sperm every hour. Your balls are just constantly just churning them out. They got to go somewhere.
So you have to masturbate if you're not having intercourse.
Oh no,
Yeah,
you have
no,
to.
you do.
Have
You
100%.
have
If you don't
Yeah.
masturbate, you will. It will happen.
Yeah, whether you
no
want
matter
to or
what.
not.
In your
Yeah.
sleep,
In
wet
your sleep,
dreams. That's what
wet
happens.
dreams.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why like
alright.
you have to, or it's just,
Or
disgusting.
you wake up with a mess.
It's
yeah.
disgusting. It's,
So ladies, if you have a
Well,
man, help him out.
yeah, I mean, of course. There should
Or
be
don't get
people-
mad when
yeah.
you catch him jerking off because
Yeah,
he's got it.
It's
I
a-
never understood that. Why?
Also, you get testicular cancer
Why
if
what?
you don't.
why
if
women
you-
would get mad of seeing their boyfriend or husband?
Well, because there's
jerking
this
off.
like self-conscious thing that they're like, oh, they don't want to fuck me. They'd rather jack
But
off.
I don't know.
You know
to me,
what?
that just seems kind of stupid. No offense to anyone, although I know people
all
will
the
take
ladies.
offense, but I just think that's kind
Hey,
of...
Corny just says it like it is,
Sometimes,
Honestly,
sometimes.
I mean, why would you think that? I mean, if... I don't know. We can go back onto this, and that could be another topic.
That could be
for
that's like a.
Well, it's because I don't know.
what a
I guess they're
segue.
thinking I can't please them or something like that.
Sometimes jerking
Yeah.
off is just
I
me
mean,
time.
I kind of
Yeah, I mean,
understand
sometimes
that,
you want
but-
that me time.
Yeah.
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 I
Well,
don't know.
I was gonna say was it the whole the Irish horror comment. This got weird.
Why did you go straight for Irish, by the way?
I don't know. I thought you were from Irish. Ryan. It's an Irish name.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, the point I was making was
Maybe she was an Irish
maybe
whore. I don't know where
your
she was from.
ancestors have great sperm
Stamina.
count. All I know is my Portuguese Sri Lankan ancestors don't. Okay, we don't have great sperm count. We run out very quickly.
You're like tens of thousands. I got 8.
I got it. They're trying really hard though. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so
Okay.
shrinking penis,
Yeah,
shrinking.
so that's part of the for that because it's part of the yin and yang theory. So by having frequent ejaculation, you're losing part of your essence. In essence, and so there's that. Or the in Chinese folklore, they believed that there might have been a fox spirit that was taking over a person, and that made them weak physically and sexually shrink their tissues. So there's
You know what
that.
I kind of is kind of funny about this is it's a great excuse
Yeah.
to be like when a girl like you take your pants off, she's like, oh, you're like, oh well, listen, I have a serious medical condition though. It's
like
shrinking.
no, it's
not normally. It's I have a fox
yeah,
spirit.
This
that's
fox spirit that's kind
shrinking
of
my.
Yeah,
it's not normally like this.
You can't see it, but I can. It's right there. His
Yeah.
name's Jerry.
Jerry. So that's kind of the background for it. In the U.S. and Europe, but in the 1880s, there were publications that were reporting about this, and so the Coro, and then these actually became epidemics. Like people,
That's
like
what was
groups
weird
of
to me.
people.
Is it like hundreds,
The Coro
and thousands?
clubs?
No, like there'd be an epidemic.
There'd
There'd
be
be
an
like
epidemic of
thousands of
people,
people
yeah.
are like, oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
to
My
me
dick
too.
is gone.
So the first report of Coro epidemics in China were noticed in a French report in 1908. and everything. And so part of the way that the Chinese would treat it would be to pray to the gods, ask Taoist, am I saying that right? Taoist priests to perform exorcism. If they do believe that the fox spirit is responsible for it, they would hit gongs or beat the person to drive it out.
That's the only way to get that dick out.
You just gotta
beat it.
Just gotta beat them out.
You gotta beat it.
If they were receiving,
you look really sad.
Listen, man, like 10 minutes ago, not even 10 minutes ago, we were talking about, my sperm count. So
you're the one saying you have a low sperm count. I'm just saying you jerk off a lot, and so do I. So does everybody. Yeah. You know what? I actually had a doctor tell me one time. Sorry to go back into this. This is a great line. He's my actual doctor, okay? I was like 17 or something. And I was having a physical.
He was like a pediatrician, right? That you saw for like a long time?
Yeah. He was my doctor for like my whole life.
Yeah.
Right. And so he was like, all right, physical, you got to get in there too. And he's like, everything working okay? And I was like, yeah. He's like, do you jerk off? Or he said, do you masturbate? Because that's the medical term. And I was like, and he's like, listen, Ryan, 98% of men masturbate, and the other 2% are fucking liars. He said fucking liars. My doctor said that. And I was like,
doctor.
Well, I guess yes, then I do.
Telling it like it is.
Yeah. Anyway. Nothing to be ashamed of, is what I'm saying for you. You looked sad, and then you said it's because we were talking about...
Man. No.
All right.
Hashtag no shame.
There we go.
That is not the hashtag for this episode. You guys can take that shit home. Hey, you know what? No, the good thing about low sperm count is this. I'm not even sure I have that, but
can't get pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
I can't get pregnant.
Less likely.
Less likely to.
I promise you, Noosh, you will never get pregnant.
I know. Wait, what? No. You suck, man.
But you're more likely to. You're less likely to get someone pregnant.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a good thing for you.
I walked in this episode thinking, man, this episode about delusion. Definitely not talking about my dick today. Sometimes you get surprised by the day.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Okay. So if they were doing the yin and yang kind of thing, they would make a potion, and it would include herbs, Pelot's antler, which is stag of deer. It would also include deer tail, tiger penis, deer penis.
That's what I was waiting for.
Or fur seal penis.
Gotta get some of that testicle in there.
Yeah, and then other foods would be pepper soup, ginger soup, and liquor.
Liquor is
to help it go down. It's to help this shit go down because you're eating, tiger penis and like stag horn. You need something to wash it down.
Okay, so that's some of the background for it. So I have here.
Dude, also, can
pictures.
I say, bless you, Courtney, bless you that the conversations you come up with on this show, just the background is like 20 minutes of just great conversation.
It always leads to us talking about something embarrassing about ourselves.
I know.
I'm trying to bring us together because we just need to speak the truth.
Yeah.
These topics need to be talked about.
You know what, guys? You've inspired me. The poop stalemate. Guys, I am ashamed. No, I'm not ashamed. That's the opposite of that. I am proud to...
To jerk off?
To jerk off, yeah. Yes, that's...
Cool, man.
Okay.
I'd high-five you, but I don't know where your hands have been, so...
I know.
Gross. I wash my hands regularly, guys. Come on.
Okay. So I can share with you guys 6 times that there's been epidemics, with the recent being in 2013 that there was an outbreak.
Wow.
So the first time was in Central Europe in the 15th and 16th centuries.
That's where shit always goes down when it comes to epidemics.
I'll give you one guess as to what people thought was the cause of men
witches.
losing their... Yes,
witches.
It's always.
So a...
Got the witch stole my penis.
My dick.
In 1486, a German clergyman named Heinrich Kramer, he described that it was saying that witches collect male organs in great numbers, as many as 20 or 30 members together, and put them in a bird's nest or shut them in a box. They just went around collecting them.
What a weirdly specific thing for him to say. Like, no, listen. They take them, they put them in a bird's nest. Why?
Yep. Well, I'll tell you why. He said that they don't just hang around. They move themselves like living members and eat oats and corn, and has been seen by many.
It is.
What?
So I just imagine like little
They don't just
like worms or
hang
something,
around.
just like
Eating. You know, actually, I was not weirded out by the crawling, wormy part. It's a part where he said oats and corn. I'm like,
Really? Like, they eat
Yeah,
oats
I
and
was just like, ugh.
You know, that's
yeah. Well, he said that sometimes the witches would take pity on the men that were missing their members, and so he said that he told one story of when one man asked a witch to restore his missing member, and this is the quote that he wrote down. She told the afflicted man to climb a tree and take which he liked out of a nest where there were several members. When he tried to take the big one, the witch said, "You must not take that one because it belonged to a parish priest."
Wow.
So
wait. Hold on. Was
Yes.
this parish priest named Heinrich, maybe?
maybe.
He's like, oh, well, my
This is an
huge,
anonymous-
my huge
anonymous.
dick that got taken away from
Yeah.
me, she was giving this other guy his pick of a dick, but
Yeah.
she couldn't take my giant dick.
Yeah, it's
that's not
too
on
big.
my body, though.
It's too big.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It eats like
Dude, the
giant,
male ego is so...
It eats acorns, you know. It doesn't even eat walnuts or oats or whatever. It eats
It eats
too big.
whole corns.
It eats birds. It eats live birds.
Oh god, that's such a bad image. Oh, I can't. Okay.
Can you imagine a dick eating oats? And the
Yeah,
birds was the line? That was
even-
too far?
Yeah.
So cute.
Okay. The next one happened in 1967 in Singapore.
That's pretty recent.
In October and November of 67, the Singapore's General Hospital had to treat a total of 454 men that believed that their penises were shrinking. At the time of the outbreak, 97 were seeking intervention in a single day. So they were actually going, and that's actually in some of the other ones. Most people, most guys who suffered from this delusion, they would just try home remedies, where basically
You wouldn't want to tell somebody. Yeah.
they would. Well, they tell people
Or they
have
wouldn't-
them help them, like pull their penises or help them with other devices to help.
You know.
They didn't
it out
want to
of
just
their-
go to a
yeah.
doctor, though.
Hey Ryan,
No.
if you needed somebody to pull your penis, who you call?
Stop, please stop what you're about to say.
Noosh would like
me.
that. He
no,
would like
not
that
me.
very much.
No, not me. Not me. Not me. No.
Okay. Thanks. I'll pull my own penis. Thank you very much.
That sounds so scary, man.
What's scary?
Imagine pulling out your own penis.
No, that's
Or
not
like-
scary. It's only scary if you're hallucinating your dick is disappearing, because otherwise you're just holding your dick. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Listen,
just
actually,
thinking
during
about
this
that, though,
conversation,
like-
I imagined what if I woke up in the morning and it was gone? And I think my actual reaction would be the usual reaction I have when I freak out about something, which is putting my hands on my head and just, oh! Like, you know,
Who would you tell? Like, what do you even do? Like, go to the doctor?
dude, I don't know.
I swear it's bigger than this.
I
You would be that
no,
home
listen,
remedy guy.
Let me tell you one thing about, and this is my feeling on going to the doctor for physicals, for example. Okay, the thing is, most guys, actually, I don't know. I've heard guys say this, a lot more guys than otherwise would say that, you know, when they get their physical done, they would rather be a woman because they don't want like some other guy like grabbing their junk or, you know, whatever. You
Guys
know?
have it so easy for physicals compared to women.
Oh, no, I know. It's way more
So-
invasive. But, I mean, here's the thing, though. And I know there's other guys like me also. I actually prefer the doctor to be a guy. And there's one specific reason for that. The thing about physicals, they're uncomfortable. I don't like it. And the thing is, I like the idea of, listen, I don't want to be there. And I know that this guy, he doesn't want to be there either. We're both here. We don't want to be here. We want to get it over with and get out of here. I just don't want...
Do you think female doctors do want to be
No,
there?
no, I
for
don't
your
think.
physical?
No, God, no, I don't. But the thing is, I'm a guy, and that's like a woman. I just feel really like, oh God, I hope I don't like.
Let
I
her
feel-
down when
I
she
feel
sees
weird. I
this.
feel weird. Like,
You feel
listen,
bad for her?
No, not for her. It just kind of feels like
I'm
you know, listen,
sorry.
it's like an
Yeah.
instinct. It's like an instinct, sort of like a. Listen, it's like instantly as soon, like for example, I've had a physical by a female doctor, and instantly, you know, when she was like reaching down there, my first thought, I didn't say it, but my first thought was just, it's usually bigger. Like it was just kind of like an instinct. It just came out that way, you know. So yeah, I'd rather it be a guy. Look, I've had men doctors, like they don't even want to look at it. They're just kind of like they're just so. I don't know.
They do this thing like, all right, cough.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan is doing it perfect. Looking away, kind of just
No eye contact.
no eye contact, dude. I love that.
No,
I love that.
listen, I get where you're
there's-
coming from
yeah.
because that's more comfortable.
Way more comfortable, dude. Yeah.
So, imagine somebody like
Just like
cough,
coughing. Yeah,
cough.
it'd be awkward.
Dude,
They're professionals.
Yeah.
Okay? The female doctor who did my comeback from the
yeah,
Philippines.
the fingers in.
fingers in. That was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. That noise. Exactly.
That's how you.
She gave me. She was like, okay, listen. I'm gonna have to go in there. Like, we gotta. And she gave me a choice though. She was like, do you want to stand and like bend over the table, or do you want to like just lay on your side and go fetal position? How do you even answer that question?
Listen, no, it's.
I said I think my actual words were just like, what's easier for you? Like, this is always, no matter what I do, this is gonna be bad for me.
Yeah.
My end of this is gonna be terrible no matter what I do. She was like, okay, well, I guess just lie down. And then, yeah.
Did she lube it up or?
Yeah, she put her glove on and she was like,
you know.
She's like, you're gonna feel a little pressure, and I think I whimpered. I was like,
Yeah. Like a child.
It was.
You're in the fetal position too, so it's kind of.
I had a single
Did you
tear.
run out like Peter with the pants around? Like,
No. After she was like, okay, we're almost done. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing. I don't want to imagine the motion. But anyway, when she was done, she's like, okay, we're done. I was like,
Yeah.
She's like, you're fine. And I never went back to her. I have a different doctor.
I mean, of course, every single time a doctor puts their finger in your butt, you don't go back to the same doctor. You have to respect that doctor. No, it's out of respect for them.
Listen. I appreciate that she did it because she could have saved my life if something was wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see her again.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want her to look me in the eyes,
intimate,
and we
man.
both
but
know.
if you go by
we
that
know
logic,
something
you'll
happened.
soon at some point run out of doctors to see.
No, there's always new generations of doctors.
Yeah.
Do you remember what she looks like?
Yeah, kind of.
He'll
Yes,
never forget.
I do.
No, I mean,
This is the
that was
lady.
very
I
intimate.
remember her.
Ryan, that
She was
intimate.
She was
know.
like,
Fingers in the booty ass bitch.
okay.
Reference to Kanye.
Yes.
Nobody.
No, I got it. No one else listens to Kanye though.
Oh,
I
don't
don't
really
listen to
listen
good
to
music,
Kanye
guys.
either.
I just
Noosh is like, I only
Home
listen
Alone
to
2
soundtracks.
I listen to soundtracks too. But I listen to other stuff, but I don't listen to Kanye.
I listen to everything, as I said previously.
I only listen to Kanye because sometimes I have to listen to the radio and I don't have a choice, and he's on the radio. But, let's stop talking about my ass.
So Courtney, go on. Just
so that's what happened in
60s.
in Singapore. Some of the they were saying that people were suffering actual physical injury because they were trying to do at-home remedies to help
like
themselves.
tying your dick to a hook.
So they were using rubber bands,
oh
chopsticks,
my god, chopsticks
clamps,
and rubber
Oh my
and
God.
clothes pegs to keep their penises in place to make sure it doesn't shrink into their body.
I'm surprised
I
they
know,
tied
you're-
it in a knot.
I'm
I mean,
not
just
even
to
a
make
guy,
sure.
and the look that you have on your face of just like, oh my god, I kind of feel your pain. So
You know what? The
like,
only
it
time I
just-
cringe like that is if it's stuff going on the inside, but if it's just clothespins on the outside. I mean, if you
What?
said chopstick going in, then I would have been cringing also.
That's.
That would have.
Clothespins?
But have you even just had a clothespin
about
on your
it. That
finger?
shit hurts,
that
yeah.
exactly.
Have you
Yeah.
used a
It's
clothespin
on the
before?
outside, man. It's fine. It's on the outside. It's on the inside. That's when the real pain comes.
Interesting.
What kind of penis do you have that it doesn't hurt with a clothespin?
But it hurts when you over.
Yeah, but it hurts to jerk off.
Listen, I'm a complicated man. I've got a complicated dick. Listen, I got mysophobia. I'm afraid of germs. But my dick's like, hey, you can put a clamp on me, but don't put any of that shit inside.
Complicated
Oh my
man
God.
with a complicated dick.
Hashtag, I'm a complicated man.
Okay. Well, moving on from the 60s, in China, this happened in 84 to 85. They suffered an outbreak. It was about 3,000 individuals were treated for Koro. And unlike Singapore, the people in China, they tried to do their own remedies. And so most of them, what they did was they physically pulled their sexual organs while being fed red pepper, black pepper, pepper jam, or ginger juice.
What's with all the pepper?
What?
They're like, listen, spicy.
Maybe
it's
if
gonna
it's like-
help.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I just think that maybe sometimes if you like, I'm thinking of pepper, maybe like if you sneeze hard enough,
You're
maybe
gonna
it'll
sneeze your
it'll
dick out?
Yeah,
just
sneeze
come
dick
out.
Yeah, that
So-
that logically makes sense
I have no idea.
somewhere.
I don't know.
In China in the 80s, apparently.
But also, unlike Singapore, 16% of those who were suffering from Koro were women.
Huh.
And so they were reporting shrinkage of the vulva, labia, and the nipples. And then since both genders were suffering. It was between the ages of 10 and 25 that we were doing
10.
this.
That's kind of sad.
now.
Well,
That's
they were saying
not
for
funny.
the kids that the parents were saying that it's Koro by proxy. So they were just, around it so much, and they're like, oh, wait, I
Their
think they
dad's
might
like, my
have it.
dick's going away, and the son's like, my dick's going away.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, and then so the next one was the 90s into the 2000s, and this happened in West Africa. But theirs is a little bit different. They were believing that their organs were being stolen from them, like almost like how a pickpocket would take away your wallet, and that they were being used for an underground trade in organs. So one boy in Ghana...
That's kind of arrogant, also, to be like, someone stole my dick and they're going to sell it on the black market because it's
Exactly.
so sweet.
So one boy in Ghana said that he had gone to fetch water for his father and was returning when the thief came behind him, touched him, and he immediately felt his penis shrink until it was no longer visible.
That
So
sounds sad.
How old was this kid?
that doesn't say, but
That's
yeah.
like molestation, man.
Yeah,
that's
no,
messed
he
up.
is. So I mean, and that's what it was. And so what they started doing, because there's like a lot of people that were, let's see, where is it? There were 56 cases of genital snatching between 98 and 2005 in West Africa.
It's not funny, but it
The
is.
term genital snatching is
Genital
funny, though.
snatching, I don't know how that exactly works. But as a result of it, 36 people were killed after being accused
Oh
of
my
genital
God.
theft.
Oh.
See, now this
So-
is not
I got
fun.
Genital
Yeah.
theft.
You
Genital
stole my
theft. So they
junk.
started.
What a-
They started arresting people that were causing this. People to believe that this was actually happening. So they were the people who were accusing. They would arrest them. So
You just got to walk around like this.
blaming the
like, I'm
victim.
not touching anything from anyone.
in
You
2000.
were a weird Salem witch trial paranoia. Like somebody's stealing dicks. This person stole the dick.
Wait, there's. I mean, that's funny, but I found this
The
one
Africa
really funny. Like, I
dick
actually
trials.
wrote in my notes "LOL" because it was really funny. In Sudan in 2003, there was a columnist who his name is Jafar Abbas. And so he was writing about the situation. So he was saying about this one guy who. So the name of his article was "Penis Melting Zionist Robot Combs." That was the name
That's
of his
kinda-
article.
Wait, what?
So he's
Penis melting
Penis melting Zionist robot combs
combs, as in like for hair.
for your hair.
Well, the word I heard was Zionist, so this guy was a little
Oh, right.
racist,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
So,
There's
this
that.
was he wrote for the Wall Street Journal. Wait, was it? Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Respected journal, I guess.
So there were reports about foreigners shaking men's hands and then making their penises disappear. That was the rumor that was going around. Almost 50 people were arrested on charges of sorcery and fraud, and another 40 were arrested for complaining and inciting public panic. One victim told a British newspaper, and this is the quote, "While he was at the market, a man approached him, gave him a comb, and asked him to comb his hair. When he did so, within seconds, he felt a strange sensation and discovered that he had lost his penis." That was the story. So this columnist, Jafar
Also,
Abbas-
hold on. Who's just like, hey, you need to brush your hair, bro? Oh, thanks. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know, wouldn't you be
It's
worried
weird.
about, like, lice or something?
Yeah,
or just,
especially in that time period.
yeah. This is in 2003.
I was like, what? What do you mean?
Especially in that time period.
Way to pay attention.
So this columnist, in his analysis of the situation, this is what he wrote. He wrote, "No doubt this comb was a laser-controlled surgical robot that penetrates the skull, passes to the lower body, and emasculates a man."
No doubt.
And he argued that the robots were the work of an imperialist Zionist agent sent to prevent our people from procreating and multiplying. And then his words...
Sounds legit.
Definitely. And this is what made me laugh was his words for the man that was the victim. He said, "You jackass, how can you put a comb from a man you don't know to your head while even relatives avoid using the same comb?" Makes sense to me.
That's kind of a... I can't argue with that.
You know the thing
Why are you
is,
combing
though,
your hair with strangers' combs?
the conflict. I mean, his name's Jafar Abba. Is he Palestinian or what? Did you mention
it
what
said that-
nationality?
A Sudanese columnist.
Sudanese. Okay. Well, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I realized. Oh, okay. So this was like a person of like, I don't know, Middle Eastern. Sudan is in Africa, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't
like
count.
Northern
That's-
Africa,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, I thought for a second it was like a Middle Eastern person saying that about a Jewish person. I thought, whoa, like the conflict got way personal, like dick theft. Like it got into that level now.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Well, so what's maybe the cause of this? Right?
Are you
So-
asking us?
Well,
you're going to tell us.
I'm going to tell you, but I was also just throwing it out there.
Mass hallucination.
But,
also, men being extremely self-conscious about their dicks.
Nope.
You know, you just sometimes if you're like, oh man, like, what if somebody sees how small it is? You're like, oh, it disappeared, it's gone. Oh my god, I can't see it. It's gone. It vanished. Actually, when you think about this whole hallucination, basically what it is a really intensified version of it's usually bigger. It's literally just it's usually bigger. It's usually bigger. It's usually here.
Yeah, that's...
Well, that kind of goes in hand with the answer. So there's a couple things. So, so for example, like when I was just talking about the Sudan, part of it is just if there's a lot of tension in the air, and so you're under a lot of pressure and whatever. So this was happening. This is what the Middle East media research says, that it was possibly because it was to divert the public's attention from negotiations between the Sudanese vice president and the Sudan People's Liberation Army. So it might have been a rumor started by the government to take away from that. To then just say...
The government's like, how do we get people not to freak out about
exactly.
this? Just tell them their dicks are being stolen.
So that's
It'll
one
work,
thing. So that could be your one conspiracy theory of what it is. The other thing that I was reading was that it's just... because a lot of the people that suffer from it are younger people, so it's like going through puberty and they don't have a full understanding of their bodies and what's happening. But then also with the Chinese, a lot of the people that suffered from that, they were uneducated, and they believed the legends and all of that stuff. So,
when I read about this, because I was going to talk about this first, then you stole it from me. I'm just kidding. Not first. But I read like one campaign to like solve this problem in like one of the Chinese epidemics was literally just tell everyone, guys, that's not physically possible. Here's some information. On the bus stops, there's like things that say like, your dick can't shrink or disappear. You're okay. Yeah. It was just like telling people like, hey.
Gotta be straight. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's, and then for the West, because in the West we don't believe in all the, use herbal medicines and stuff. So they would just mainly use to deal with it would be like psychotherapy, to just talk about it and find the underlying, sexual.
Why are you so scared of your dick, bro?
Exactly. Yeah. So
you gotta accept your dick. Your dick will accept you.
That's how small it is, man. Yeah. It's okay. It's probably what they would tell them.
I think so.
Yeah. It's okay for it to be like that. It's normal.
Yeah, maybe the poster should say, "Hey, your dick's okay the way it is." That's the poster on the bus stop.
Yeah. Hashtag your dick's okay.
Your dick's okay the way it is.
I know it is.
Well, no. Well, yeah.
You motioned to me like you were telling me.
I meant that should be the hashtag, like it's the whole phrase, not your dick's okay, because your dick's okay.
Yeah, the way it is.
Get across, the way it is. Yeah. Cool. That was
educational.
Yeah.
And too personal.
Way too personal.
It's all right.
For you.
Bringing out the rawness.
I talked about getting fingers in my ass.
That's true. You did talk about that.
And by the way, the only thing that was embarrassing for you was you saying about your own sperm count.
Why you
no one said that but you.
You know the thing is though, it's because when you're on the spot and Ryan is just like making a big thing out of it, I gotta be like, I gotta explain this, or else it's gonna be like even weirder.
I do that.
You do that a lot.
I do that because it makes it funny.
Yeah, Ryan does that thing where he puts me in a situation where I have to reveal something.
You have to make a joke
because he makes it uncomfortable.
You know what it is?
Otherwise,
it's because I know the story. I know you're like. You didn't get far enough away for that, but I know I know it's in there. I'm like, I wanna have him talk about that or like make a joke about it. So sorry.
Well, it's for the sake of comedy, right? You gotta bleed a little bit for comedy sometimes. You gotta break a few eggs, you gotta break a few heels.
Jerk off too much.
You gotta jerk off too much sometimes. Whatever it takes to get some laughs, man. That's why the clown is never happy at home.
Yep,
it's deep stuff.
Very poetic.
So, my topic for this this thing. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the name of it. And here's the thing. I think in this room, you know about it.
Yeah.
You don't know the details though.
I don't remember. I've read about it, but I don't remember the details.
And did you read about it?
I've read about it. Yeah, I remember parts of it, but not the full thing.
Okay. So you might not know about it because it's very obscure. But if you do, let me know. But it's called the dancing.
Really, regardless. Never mind. Sorry.
That thing you do. The dancing plague of 1518. Okay, so this is so
Also, before I think people should know that before the show, he's like, "Everybody, get all your coughs out now," and you're the only one doing it.
I know. It's just I feel like I gotta. Oh man, my throat doesn't sound right. My voice doesn't. The water's not enough, man. The water's not doing it for me anymore. I need more water.
Okay. Well, there's more water in front of you.
I know.
You sound fine.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Cool. So, all right. The dancing plague of 1518. So this whole thing started. Now let's take a trip back in time. Now she mentioned, Courtney, how there's the Coro thing happened in the 15th century in Europe. Let's go back to that period. The period, of myth and legend. When
dragons, witches.
When I was about to do the gargoyles opening theme, in a land of.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
gargoyles.
So in Strasbourg, France, in the reign of the Holy Roman Byzantine Empire, in the year in the year of our Lord, 1518.
Ammo Domini.
In that town of Strasbourg, France, a middle-aged woman named Frau Trophée walks into the city square and starts to dance.
Okay.
And no one's alarmed at first. Everybody's kind of like, okay, Frau Trophée is, dancing. All right, that's fine.
You do you.
And just to be clear, she wasn't dancing in any way that was alarming. She wasn't like jerking. Like she wasn't having like an epileptic fit or anything like that.
She was just straight
elegantly dancing, moving her
that.
arms, movements. She was very much dancing. Her movements were very purposeful. However, the one thing that people didn't notice at first, but eventually they started to notice, was that she was very much in a trance-like state. And so, there's something off there. Now, eventually, as she kept dancing, people suddenly started to join her, and they started dancing also. And, like I said, everybody looks like they were in a trance, and they didn't look very happy about it. So that's and here's the thing, me saying that, I really specifically want to point out that they noted that these people were dancing very purposefully, but they were not happy about it. And the reason I say that is because there is a lot of detailed notes about this incident. Physicians' notes, records of sermons from the cathedral, town chronicles, freaking city council meeting notes, all confirming, oh yeah, these people were dancing. And none of them were having fun. It basically said something to the ilk of none of them were enjoying themselves. By the way, I want to throw it back really quick and just mention that when we think of city council meeting, we think of elected officials, and we think of a very bureaucratic city hall kind of thing. But this is like old school city council, like the nobles and the clergy and like the landowners. It was like old school council. The origin word, council. Anyway, so they all noted, okay, something's weird's going on. Nobody seems happy, but everybody's dancing in the city square. By the end of the week, 30 people were dancing in that square with her. Non-stop. They never stopped. They just kept dancing. By the end of the week, after 7 days, 30 people were dancing in that square with Frau Trophée.
Upset about it.
And they were upset about it. And by the end of the month, 400 people were dancing in the streets.
How do you survive dancing for for a month?
Well, that's part of the reason why these physician notes, these town chronicles, and the city council meetings were so strange. Because everybody's pointing out this is physically impossible. Even a marathon runner could not go nonstop for more than 3 days tops. And actually, your body would dehydrate after 3 days. Yeah. But these people were not physically deteriorating in any way, and they were dancing for a month.
That's crazy.
Well, actually, visibly, they weren't physically deteriorating. They were definitely physically deteriorating on the inside. But we'll get to that.
Also, did they just, like piss themselves?
Yeah, I mean, they probably had to. I mean, actually, here's the thing. It noted that they were not drinking water or eating, so that means they probably were not defecating. There was no waste to get out. They were just dancing. They were physically exerting themselves beyond the point of energy intake. So, I mean, this is physically impossible, what was going on. And so, actually, there's one thing I want to point out that I thought was kind of funny. The fact that Imagine everybody else kind of going about their daily routine. They're having city council meetings, publishing the paper. They're bakers baking bread. It's the group's dancing. Oh, hey, Frank's still dancing. Yeah, look at that. They're just kind of walking by these people, living their lives,
trying
to cross through the square. Like, oh, sorry, excuse me. Like,
and here's the thing though. Some people, and this is the part where it gets kind of like really freaky in my opinion. It's that some people actually like broke the trance. And they returned their wits, and they came back from wherever they were in their own mind or wherever, and they came back to reality again, and they regained their wits. But then they chose once again to go back and dance into oblivion, and that's the actual phrase that was used in the notes that from that period. They chose to dance into oblivion once more, and they
footloose, baby.
Yeah.
Just
cut loose.
Yeah, can't stop the footloose. Yeah, they went back into it. It's like, nah, gotta get back in there. Gotta get back.
Gotta dance.
Gotta dance. Just,
and be unhappy about it, though.
And they were very unhappy about it,
I'm just picturing like a group dance video, but like tears running down their faces as they're like moving.
You know what I imagine? Remember that book, dude, that we read a long time ago, Apathy and Other Small Victories? Remember the deaf disco? Everybody was dancing just out of sync with the music.
Well, yeah, there's no music for this, right? Yeah, so everybody's just like...
Everybody's just kind of swaying and just making movements and... You know, it's just a really uncomfortable...
It's a lot of, like, interpretive dance.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Nobody wanted to outright stop the dance. Like walk up to Ryan and just stop it, Ryan.
Why?
Because
I would totally do that.
I know, just...
They were afraid it would spread to them.
Oh, they were scared.
And you have to imagine that
I don't know what you have, but I don't want to dance forever.
The thing is, you have to imagine that there was a lot of anxiety and fear and paranoia. Like the entire countryside, not just the town, the countryside was terrified of this idea of, dude, what if I get it? You know, they did not want to touch these people because they didn't want to catch whatever they had. And also, there's something else. Because this was a time of myth and legend when... I wish I could remember that quote, dude.
The
gargoyles quote. In the age of fear. This was the age of gargoyles. Anyway, the point is, there's another thing. Aside from just this paranoia, this kind of subtle, under the skin fear of this plague spreading, there was something else. There's an age of supernatural belief. And they actually believed that this was a curse put upon them by Saint Vitus, which was a Sicilian saint in the Catholic Church, the Sicilian saint who was the patron saint of epilepsy. And and because apparently the legend about Saint Vitus is that if you anger Saint Vitus, if you provoke him, he will. If you provoke his wrath, he'll bring down a plague of dancing upon you. Oh. That was his thing.
Wow.
His thing was a plague of dancing.
So they were like, that's definitely what that is.
They had no idea what's going on. They're like, whatever you did to piss off St. Vitus, I don't want any of that. Wow. And so they wanted to stay as far away from him.
A patron saint of epilepsy?
That's what I'm wondering.
Well, it was
I guess there has.
Listen, actually think about this. Think about this. It's the Holy Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, which was the offshoot of the original Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire literally had the Penates, who were the god of bread. I mean, they had the god. I mean, they had the god. I forgot her name, but she was the god Vestra, the god of the kitchen or the hearth. Right? They had Janus, the god of the door. So I mean, they had a god for everything, basically.
Yeah, I guess.
So
whenever they discovered a new thing, they're like
there's got to be a god there somewhere. Ryan, the god of chairs. So, there was this whole thing going on where there's like this supernatural, existential, psychological fear going on in the countryside, all over the countryside. The authorities that were involved, the city council, as it were, they were like, okay, we got to figure out what's going on. Like, this is really weird. We don't know what's going on.
We got to stop this dancing.
We got to stop this dancing.
Dude, by the way, it is funny that there's a city council trying to stop the dancing.
Yeah, it's
because that's literally footloose.
It's footloose. We gotta stop this dancing.
Dancing is illegal.
And there's a religious undercurrent also involved in it.
Whoever wrote Footloose was like, I'm going to write
the
dancing plague, but in the 80s.
Somehow it's reversed, where the religious part was causing the dancing, and the secular parts we got to stop this religious stuff going on.
Yeah.
So the city council and nobles, they thought it might be astrological, it might be some kind of supernatural thing. They brought in physicians, and the physicians thought it was a natural disease of some kind. Now, can you guys take a guess what the normal cure is for natural diseases in those days?
Bloodletting.
Bloodletting. They thought the blood was hot, and they needed to let the blood. They need to bleed it out. Now, actually, in this case,
that was the cure-all, dude.
That was
just
the cure-all
like,
for everything.
Bleed it out. You're fine.
Yeah, you're like you're having a headache. Oh, your blood is hot. We gotta bleed you out. You know. Oh, your penis retracted. Your blood is hot. Gotta bleed you out. So actually, in this case, this is one of the few times they didn't do bloodletting. They're like, nah, that's not the cure for whatever these people have. They thought, okay, the blood is hot, but nah, we don't gotta bleed it out. So instead of prescribing bleeding as a cure, they decided the only cure for dancing was more dancing. So they decided, we're gonna keep these people dancing until they can't stop, until they can't dance anymore. We're gonna dance the dance out of them. So
how do you keep them dancing? You're just
well. This is what they did. They opened 2 entire guild halls. They cleared a market square. And they constructed a giant wooden stage as a platform. So that way, they basically created like 4 clubs where you can go to dance. The first nightclubs.
Did they
and
play
day
music?
Clubs. And to ensure that everybody kept dancing, they hired musicians on like sessions, on basically shifts, to come in and play music at all hours, at all times, to just keep everybody dancing. Just everybody dance!
Is that at that point when other people joined in, like, okay, I'll dance, but
what
from
a
afar?
great cure.
I'm laughing the fact that you said that, actually. Now think about this. Their idea is, okay, we are going to have you dance until you can't dance anymore.
Because you're dead.
Because the only way these people are going to stop dancing is if they are dead. And as a result, yes, a few died of heart attacks, stroke, and exhaustion within days of this whole dance club thing starting.
So they were fine up until the
So
dance
wait, they
clubs.
could dance for a month with no problem, but
They-
then
I
as
mean-
soon as they heard music, they
Exactly.
were dead.
There were reports that there were a few people, like I want to say in the range of like a handful, who did pass out in the first few weeks, but not the. I'm going to tell you the stats, but not to the level of death as a result of this dance push for dancing that occurred. The dance club. We're going to call it the dance club phase or the nightclub phase. But by the end of August, right, this whole thing started in July, right? So by the end of July, 400 people were dancing. And then by the end of July, they're like, all right, let's dance the dance out of them. By the end of August, hundreds died. To the point of 15 people were dying per day.
They're like, look at all these people we're curing, though. They're not dancing anymore.
They certainly weren't, but they were not alive anymore. And by the end of September, the mania had, faded away. The survivors were eventually taken to healing shrines to, rest and recover. The ones who did survive, of the couple hundreds who died. Now, I'm going to give you some more information on this, but before I start that, I want to point out the reason this particular storyline is so famous is because it is the most detailed dance plague to, be recorded. There's so many notes, so many chronicles and sermons and city hall notes, things like that talking about it. So we know for sure this happened, and we know the details of how it happened. But dancing plagues were happening in Europe many centuries even before this happened. There's stories that in 1021, right? 1021, the year of our Lord 1021, a group of 18 revelers danced outside of a church in Kolbik, Germany, and they were basically dancing, and they called it the Song of Sin or something like that. They were dancing like to piss off the clergyman, and the clergyman came outside, and he was so pissed, he cursed them to dance for a year, and then they danced for a year, non-stop.
What?
And they finally stopped dancing Christmas Eve, because this happened Christmas Eve. They stopped dancing a year later, Christmas Eve of the year 1022, in which, after they stopped dancing, many of them fell asleep and never woke up. Another scenario was in the year 1247. 200 people started dancing on a bridge in Erfurt, Germany. And they danced until the bridge collapsed, and then they continued dancing until they drowned.
You mean they swam? They just...
Well,
How do you know? How do you dance in the water?
well,
Well, this is,
listen,
like, really
they weren't
shallow.
doing this.
Thrash till
They
you
were
drown.
just all the way down, just moving those arms, just elegantly.
A lot of this happened in Germany, I'm noticing.
Yeah.
Yes, those-
Well, here's
yeah.
another one from Germany. Well, the dancing
What's in
plague,
the
the
beer?
famous dancing plague was
There's
France.
France, right.
Yeah. The last one I'm going to mention in 1374, a dancing plague. This was
The
the
year of our
biggest.
Lord.
This was the year of our Lord. This is the most massive. swept across Europe. Thousands danced for weeks until they died. And this is a quote from the records about this. Thousands danced for weeks until they died of broken limbs or groins. Oh. Yeah.
Broken groins?
Yeah, man.
Oh, my God.
Broke that dick.
How hard are you dancing?
Oh, man.
So here's... by the way, people in medieval Europe actually, this was like a normal thing for them. They considered dancing plagues to be a normal. It was like
dancing.
It was
plague.
a flu. Yeah, for them it was like, it's dancing plague season, you know. So here's some theories about why it was happening. One, some people believe it could have been what's called the ergot fungus. The ergot fungus is a mold that grows on wheat and rye, and it causes hallucinations. It causes hallucinations, spasms, and terror. And here's one thing you should know about the ergot fungus. Its prime component is ergotamine, which is the substance that LSD was made from. So some people believe it might have been some kind of psychological thing, like a trip, basically. But here's the thing. It explains the trance, but it does not explain how long they were able to do it, and also the consistency of the fact.
That's a lot of acid.
Because
you're dancing for weeks.
Because people have different reactions to LSD, so it's weird that everybody had the same reaction. Yeah. So that's the other thing it doesn't explain, and also the fact that pure ergot is deadly. It's not like LSD where it's like derived from it. It'll kill you. So it doesn't explain the fact that these people did not die from the poisoning. The other explanation is that it is a mass hysteria, which is, the episode's about mass hysteria. This is the more believed theory. But basically, it's the fact that during that time period in the 15th century, there was a lot of famine, there's a lot of disease, there's a lot of poverty, to the point where a lot of people resorted to begging to survive. There's a lot of starvation. People were dying of hunger at that time period. So there was a lot of desperation. There's no hope. And one thing to consider is that the fact it comes back to Saint Vitus. Saint Vitus was the saint who brings upon people a plague of dancing as a provocation of wrath, of anger, right? So people found that as basically people were so psychologically stressed. The anxiety, the desperation was such a peak level that the only escape they had was to blame something other than their own situation. So they blamed Saint Vitus. Basically they started dancing on a psychological level because they believed their situation was so bad that this has to be a plague brought upon us by the patron saint of epilepsy and dancing, apparently. So it was basically, it makes sense to think about it. It's a human reaction. You don't want to accept your situation, so you want to blame something else.
Yeah, right.
And so they found escape and death through dance.
The ultimate escape.
The ultimate. What is it called? The forbidden dance. The deadly dance. Oh my God. So the funny thing is, the reason why it's believed is because of the fact that there was a mass hysteria, and because it was due to Saint Vitus. It's because as the Byzantine Empire died out and the Protestant Reformation happened, there was a lot of taboo about saint worship, and as that died down, this whole thing kind of died away. It kind of faded out as the saint worship and the Catholicism died out and Protestant Reformation happened. So many believe that it might be something along those lines. But I want to leave you with this, though, that, and I actually wrote it this way on my notes, it's not over, ... Because, and this is not exactly a dancing plague, but this is very, very similar. In 1962, in Tanzania, 3 girls at a school started laughing. Oh. And you heard about this? Yeah. The laughter spread to 100 other students at that school, and then as they went home, it spread to their hometowns. Eventually, all the neighboring towns, this laughter spread to these towns. Basically, people were laughing for, I believe it was a year, nonstop laughing. And this is not joyful laughing. This is crying, pain.
If you laugh for a long time, it
hurts. Yeah, they were suffering for a year. Thousands were affected by this psychological phenomenon of just compulsive laughing, and it was very much a disease because it just spread from proximity, basically. So this kind of psychological illness, basically, that spreads through stress and societal fears and psychology, it's real, and it affects us to this day.
Well, until 1962.
Well, no.
I'm just kidding.
That's true. Yeah, but maybe there's more out there. I think there might be. That was the only story I wrote down, though. But yeah. So
we don't really have time for.
We don't have, dude. That's you told me that was the story you had the most notes on, right? That was
I have a lot of notes.
Yeah.
About
how much time do you think it'll take you to talk about it?
Too long.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, too long. So we will not talk about the madness of 2. I will say this, though.
Folie à deux.
Folie à deux
Folie à deux
is a French term. It's a psychological...
It means the madness of 2.
The madness of 2.
Yeah.
And it's basically when people go crazy together. 2 people go crazy together.
Yeah.
It's also a great name for a wine. And it's really a name for a wine. And I hope their like tagline is never drink alone. Or, something along those lines. Cause,
yeah.
But yeah.
Man, that joke would have been great with the Folie à deux story.
Well, that's why I told it.
Yeah. Well, we'll cover it another day. We'll do Delusion 2.
All right.
Yeah. Next week, Delusion 2. No.
No.
Too soon.
No, too soon.
Too soon, man. But I mean, yeah, it was good that we did go over on time in terms of some of our stuff because it was good conversation. It's good conversation.
I'm not sad or something. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just another time.
So okay, so this is usually we go a little bit over our show, but I mean, any thoughts on today's episode that you want to mention before we head out, Ryan?
Any thoughts?
Yeah.
We are. I think people should know that we actually are called Ryan Noosh are Dead now.
That will be the official name of our.
Despite the stupid thing that you say every week. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else. Just your dick's okay the way it is.
Yeah. Hashtag your dick's okay the way it is.
Your dick's okay the way it is.
Actually, by the way, I wanted to mention that when we're talking about the whole mass hallucination thing at the Berenstein Bears, I actually was kind of in my mind hoping that, for a split second, guys, this might sound crazy, but for a split second, I actually thought that Harambe was dead. And I was living in this universe where he actually was shot, but, he's okay. He's fine.
He's dead.
That can't be right. I remember him being alive.
Tell me it ain't
He's
so.
alive in my heart.
He's alive in all of our hearts.
Yeah. Dude, I guess mention one thing, the whole Harambe thing. There's somebody made...
You seriously are so stuck
No, not the
on
name.
Harambe.
Not the name. Just about the,
no, I know.
the gorilla.
I'm just saying.
There, people, the internet has taken Harambe as a patron saint of memes,
Dicks out for Harambe.
Dicks out Harambe. And Mike's out for Harambe. Somebody made a Street Fighter clone, like a Street Fighter version.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And there's a Harambe character in the Street Fighter you can fight with. And one of my favorite parts is, just like in Street Fighter, when you fight characters, they talk to you before the fight. And one of my favorite scenes that they clipped was just in the middle of that grassy plain where you fight Sagat, thunderstorm, dark, gloomy, breezy, grass. You see Ken, you see Harambe, and the quote is just, Ken says, "Harambe, you've grown so strong." Dude, I love you, Harambe. You're always with me in my heart. That's all I gotta say. Courtney, anything you want to signal boost? Anything you want to mention before we head out?
So, I had fun tonight.
Cool.
Gravy.
Cool. Cynthia?
I didn't say anything, but I really found everything super interesting. I was like, really? Tell me more. People are crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are. Listen to my show. I think it's still up if you guys want. Life of Sin.
Where can we find the show?
It's
on KDHR?
Yeah, I think it's still up. Like the last one.
I thought KDHR deletes the earlier episodes. They only keep the last one. Yeah. Actually, what I discovered was Podomatic keeps it up for a while.
Yeah.
So our older episodes are still on Podomatic.
Okay, well I will most likely post a link up on my Facebook page. Cynthia Gomez, follow me. I will also post a link to my cooking channel, vegan Mexican cooking channel, and to my blog.
Mention that. What are you doing with that?
I am filming myself. Creating these Mexican vegan recipes, and they're not like whitewashed or anything. They're like authentic Mexican, and they're delicious. And trust me, I'm not like an eating salad kind of person. Like I deep fry shit. Yeah, and and I will also post up links for my blog talking about some weird, crazy dream I had yesterday, combining melatonin and IPAs do not expect a good outcome. I always have really nasty nightmares. Like melatonin, like the pills.
It makes you go to sleep, right?
It's like a little pill that you help. It's a sleep aid.
Yeah.
And then IPAs are liquor.
No, I know what an IPA is, but
I got drunk yesterday, and then I took a pill.
Generally, like common knowledge, don't take like sleeping medicine with alcohol.
I was just trying to get some sleep. I was kind of
I'm
sad.
not judging
That's
you.
how
I'm
it
just saying
starts.
that's.
No, yeah, I know. I don't know what the heck I expected, but I had a pretty weird dream.
Dude, you know Gary Shirts?
Gary Shirts.
He told me a story. I think it was Gary. He told me a story one time where he took Lunesta.
Okay.
And, like, in his sleep, he, like, went to McDonald's and he got food and he came home and his wife was like, why did you go to McDonald's last night? And he was like, I don't remember that. I was asleep.
No, there's stories
So
of
he
people
drove.
doing that.
Yeah.
He drove.
Wow.
And I'd like a cheeseburger and 10 nuggets or whatever he ordered. And that's
There's
crazy.
rumors
That's a good
that I
topic.
heard-
We should
too.
do a sleep.
Yeah.
Crazy sleep stories. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. I mean, good episode, guys. And hey, thank you for joining us on another episode of Like and Subscribe, also known as Ryan and Noosh Are Dead.
Yeah.
But it's really Like and Subscribe.
Stop.
So, all right. Well, that's that for our show. So, hey, please join us next week.
When we talk about
We don't know, but
God
we'll.
knows what.
But please join us next week.
2016,
And
the year of our
also,
Lord.
join us in terms of somebody be our guest. There's that too.
Yeah.
Double join us. Listen and join us. And that's
Stop.
our show.
I hate you.
Ryan and Noosh Are Dead is made possible thanks to KDHR, the student-operated radio station of California State University, Dominguez Hills. For more information about KDHR, please visit www.kdhr.net. The intro song for this show is Space Ace by Blind. This music is made available thanks to Overclocked Remix. For more information, please visit ocremix.org.